Let's make a D&D character. We're going to use the life path system to find out who we are, where we came from, and what we were up to before the adventure begins. For this, we're going to need some dice. And so step 1 is to discover our ability scores. There are all sorts of ways that you can find out what your ability scores are for a character. I'm just going to randomize mine using this little chart here. Alright, so my character has 8 strength, 13 dex, 12 con, 15 intelligence, 14 wisdom, and 10 charisma. We're a pretty intellectual kind of guy. At this point, we can also choose our species. For this, I will just say that we are a human. And of course, we'll need a name at some point. That's always the hardest part of any character, really. I think we'll call our character Alan. And just for fun, we'll find out when our birthday was by rolling a D100. Most people in real life, they know when their birthday is, but D&D characters seem to just spring up out of holes in the ground. So, my name is Alan. I am a human. I was born in mid-autumn. Step 2, we'll find out our upbringing, what social class our character was born into. Perhaps we were a noble, or a warrior, or a merchant, or maybe even an outlaw, or a thrall. So this is a d20 roll. 16, a warrior. We were born into the warrior class of society. We get a starting wealth of tier 5. And so we will roll on this chart of warrior events to see how our upbringing went. 4. We grew up in a military company, enduring the rigors of lengthy campaigns. We will get proficiency with athletics, a mercenary contact, and we'll have to roll a DC 10 constitution check. We also will get +2 con and the alert or tough feat. So I'll increase our constitution to 14. And then we need to roll the check with a +2. 18, so we pass. On a success, we survived and saved up some loot while we were at it. Our starting wealth increases 1 tier. So, after our successful upbringing as a warrior in a military company, we will pursue vocations as an adult. Maybe we'll go off and become an artist, or a criminal, maybe we'll stay with our company, or maybe even become a scholar. First, we get to choose our type of backstory. This will determine how many vocations we get to pursue. For Alan, I think our backstory will be eventful. So for each of our 3 vocations, we get to go through and pick one of these and see what happens to us along the way. I think for Alan, our first vocation will be martial. We'll stay with our company and continue the soldier's life. So we will roll on the martial vocation table and see how Alan does. This is a 2d6 roll. 8. We spend ample time in physical conditioning and practice. We get proficiency with athletics, acrobatics, or survival. And we get +1 to any future martial vocations we roll. And so, since we have that +1, we're gonna go again on the martial table. Ooh, 5. We participate in a significant battle. We roll 1d6 to determine the outcome. 6. Our side proves victorious. We gain an ally who we fought alongside and a rival who we fought against. So, you gain an ally and a rival. So with Alan's saved up wealth and his prestige from fighting in this victorious battle, I think that we will actually, for our 3rd vocation, schmooze with the nobility a bit. 12. So 12 is a fantastic event. So a fantastic event means that we get to roll a d20 on this huge table. Let's find out what happened while we were trying to schmooze with the nobility. 17. We come face to face with a mighty dragon. This event gives us a choice. We can choose if it was a friendly or hostile dragon, and each choice gives us different effects. I think for Alan, this dragon was hostile, and it forced us into servitude. After many months in its lair, me and another captive escape, who becomes our ally. We also retain detailed knowledge of the dragon's lair and treasure hoard. Interesting quest hook right there. And so those are our 3 vocations. We spent time with our military company and fought in a major battle in which we were victorious before being captured by a hostile dragon and escaping with an ally and knowledge of its lair. So now step 4 is the details of our family. We roll to find out how many living parents we have. We have 2 living parents. Maybe they're still in the military company. And then we find out how many siblings we have. 1d4 minus 1. So we have 2 siblings. And then we will roll to see what our general family relationship is, what our family vibe is. 9. So our family is cooperative and diligent. That's always good. So Alan has 2 parents and 2 siblings, but we'll choose between 1 and 3 of them to develop in detail. I think that Alan's father and older brother we will develop in detail. And for this, we will roll and see what our status is with each of these people. A 3. Well, our father has become estranged. Whereas for our older brother, we have an unshakable bond with them. So we've ended up with 4 NPC connections as part of our backstory, one of which is a contact from a mercenary company. Let's roll and see what their relationship is with us. 3. The next time we meet this contact, they're going to need our help and expect us to bail them out. We've also ended up with 2 allies and a rival. So we will roll and see what their attitude is towards us. So our first ally is a soldier who we fought alongside in that victorious battle. This ally has gone on to attain some measure of personal fame and fortune, and they attribute their success to our assistance. So our second ally, we escaped from a dragon's lair alongside them. Let's see how we're doing with them. This ally is brash and quick to action, always choosing the most direct approach. When they're around you, they lean on your judgment to temper their impulses. And so we also have a rival that we gained from winning that battle, who still holds a grudge from their defeat. Let's see how they're doing. Your last meeting with this rival went poorly for them, and they have nursed that defeat into a drive to grow stronger than us. Next time we meet, they will likely have new friends, new skills, or both. And so those are the NPCs our character has ended up connected to. We have a couple of family members, we have a mercenary contact, a couple of allies, and a rival who probably is going to make trouble for us. So the last step is to choose a class for Alan. Now, we were raised as a warrior and fought in a major battle, but that doesn't mean we have to be a fighter or even a martial. We're more of an intellectual type, so I think we will be a wizard, which will allow us to boost our intelligence even higher. Perhaps Alan was a battle mage in his company, or he never really was good at soldiering and turned to wizardry later. And so there's our character. We have several NPCs for the GM to use during the campaign. Maybe our rival will show up again, this time working for the villain. We have an origin story and several key events, and this lingering opportunity of a dragon's lair that we know about. And so before the game starts, me and the GM could work together to figure out the details of our character's backstory. Where was I born? What was this battle I fought in? Who is this dragon, exactly? The life path results give you lots of ways to integrate your character into the campaign setting, and opportunities for your GM to connect your character to what's going on in the world. And this is just one example of the endless possibilities of the characters that you can generate using this system. No writing skills required. Check out Fantasy Life Paths, link in the description, to discover your next D&D character.